Listen, child, welcome back. You already know I'm at work. I am not new to this. I am true to this. And being true to this means that I'm doing reviews at work so that I can be able to get home, edit, and get it to you on a good, reasonable time. You know what I'm saying? So listen, let's get right onto it. So, Zatima, season 1, episode 7, Trouble at Home, child. And yes, child, it was trouble at home, okay? So remember last episode, it ended with Zach was at the party, Deja was dancing on him, and Belinda had sent the photo to to Fatima and Angela. So it tunes in right to that scene where Fatima is looking at the photo, child. We're zooming in, looking like, child, she is looking, okay? She looking. So she tells Angela, this is exactly the reason why I kept my place. So she then is like, all my stuff is in storage, but I guess I'll go there. And Angela offers for her to come to her house. And she was like, cool, I'll go pack my bags. As she's packing her bags, she calls Bryce and she's asking, like, are you with Zach? And he's like, yeah, he's really messed up, but we're heading over to the house. So she's like, take your time. So Zach's not really that tipsy. So they get off the phone, and he's like, well, why are we slowing down? I need to pee. Like, why are we taking our time? And he was like, don't worry about it. Like, we're just gonna take our time, you know. So he was like telling him, like, you really messed up. Like, you're really fucked up, and you, like, you know, Angela's gonna take care of it. She's gonna stay at Angela's house, and everything's gonna be okay. Child, why do they pull up and Zach gets out the car and tells Fatima that he hopes that she left her keys? Now, really, Zach, you don't really mean that. So I don't understand why, like, you said that. You know what I'm saying? And they're arguing back and forth, and she's like showing him the picture, and he's like, that you don't think that you're the only person in here that has a picture. So then he then shows her the picture of her and Ian. So she's like, is that what this is about? And mind you, they're outside their house arguing like loud. And I don't know what time it is. It's probably late, you know what I mean? But they're over there arguing back and forth, and he's like, she's like, is that what this is about? And he's like, yeah, like, she's like, but you have glitter on your pants. Like, he's like, what does that mean? Like, what is that supposed to mean? So he was like, does that mean that I was having sex with a box of glitter? Like, what the heck? And she was like, no, but it shows me that whenever we have an argument or whenever you get mad, then you're going to go and sleep with somebody. He was like, that's not even what happened. Like, I didn't even sleep with anybody. And she was like, I wish you did, because it would help me feel better about the decision that I'm about to make, my next move. And he's like, what's your next move? And then it just like goes to the next scene. Now, mind you, the next scene is they're at Angela's place, and Angela grabs a bottle of wine. They're sitting down, and she's like, you know, maybe I should just sleep on it. This is what Fatima's saying. Maybe I should just sleep on it. And then Fatima was like, do you think that I'm doing, like, what I'm doing is right? Because he really didn't do anything. And Angela's like, he had every right to be mad and angry about Ian, but if Bryce didn't go get him, would he have still made the same decision, or would he have done something? And she was like, you're right. And then Fatima then goes upstairs and takes the bottle because she wants to go ahead and, you know, proceed with thinking about it, and hopefully it'd be better in the morning. Then, girl, it pans to Zach and Bryce in the house drinking something dark, probably Hennessy. I don't know what it was, but it was something dark. And mind you, Zach already drunk. He don't really need anything else to drink, but he's still drinking and taking shots with him, right? So then they still drinking, and then Zach's like, I'm gonna go upstairs. So he starts proceeding to go upstairs, and girl, he's drunk, okay? Like, drunk. He's like, can't even walk in a straight line drunk, okay? So Zach's like, why do women act like this while they're upstairs? Because Bryce helps him up the stairs. So he's like, why do women act like this? And he was like, they just think differently. So Zach was like, I wish that I could be married to you. And Bryce is like, whoa, like he's kind of thrown off, like, what do you mean? And he's like, no, pause. Zach is like, pause. He just was like, I wish that I could put your brain in Fatima, because that would be a perfect situation. And Bryce is like, just go to bed. And he's like, no, I gotta get up and take a shower. So he starts getting up and he's taking off his shirt. And Bryce is like, trying to help him, like, just go to bed. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Like, if Fatima comes home and smells this woman on me, like, it's going to be a problem, right? So then Zach started pulling off his pants and starting to, try to go to get in the shower. And you can just see it in his face, like that something's wrong with Bryce, right? It's just like something off. So he then takes off his drawers and he's bent over in front of Bryce. And Bryce is like, like he wants to go home, but he's like, are you going to be okay in there? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be okay. It shouldn't take that long. I'll be all right. So he proceeds to, I guess, wait outside for him to make sure he's okay. A noise happens or whatever. And he's like, bro, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, because I guess Zach was like, shit, like, I guess it sounded like he broke something. I don't know what happened, but it sounded like he broke something. But Bryce, mind you, is like, the vibe he's giving is like really uncomfortable, right? So these are my thoughts, right? Guys get dressed in front of each other all the time. Not like all the time like that, but like in sports, football, basketball, they get dressed and shower in front of each other all the time. And it's not a big deal. And vice versa. Girls are very, very comfortable with each other, right? And we're like, touchy-feely. Well, not touchy-feely, not like that. But we're just like, we get dressed in front of each other. It's not a big deal unless you, are gay or trying to hide the fact that you're gay or bisexual or something like that, right? So if it kind of makes you uncomfortable, and I've been in that situation, being that I'm a lesbian, I've been around, some of my friends, and it makes me very uncomfortable for them. Not for me, because I don't give a shit. It's not like I'm turned on by you or anything like that. But for me, it makes me uncomfortable for them that I'm a lesbian. So I just be like, you know what I mean? But it doesn't make me uncomfortable to the fact that I'm like thrown off. You know what I mean? Like if they're comfortable, I'm comfortable. But if they're cool, I'm cool. I don't have a problem, right? But Bryce was giving something was off. Bryce is giving that he was secretly gay, because he was giving some kind of vibe to me that he's like struggling with his sexuality or something. I don't know. But he was giving like very weird vibes. Just my thoughts before we go to the next scene. Just my thoughts. That scene, he was just like, if you have to look at hopefully you've seen the show already by the time you're seeing this, but you have to see it so that you can understand what I'm saying, like how uncomfortable that moment was for Bryce as Zach is drunk and being in that moment. Then it pans, the next scene, right? It pans to Bryce returning to the house, and Angela was still up. And she was like, they're talking and asking about Zach, is he okay? And he's asking about Fatima, is she okay? And he was like, no, but Zach is really messed up. And they proceed to say how good of a friend they were to each, Fatima and Bryce, and Zach. And then, they go kiss each other. And Angela's like taken back because, child, he is hard as a rock, okay? She like, baby, like, what's going on? Like, you never been like that before. And he, is trying to play it off. And I knew it. I was like, I knew it. So he was like, baby, do you see you? I come home and you dressed in lingerie, like you turning me on. And she was like, and he starts proceeding to kissing on her and trying to like have sex with her. And she's like, no, Fatima's here, she gonna hear us. So, she did her, I guess, womanly duties, and she gave, fellatio. You know what I'm saying? She went downtown, you know what I'm saying? And took care of bruh, okay? And then just in that moment, he's just like, it was just like, he was like, damn, baby, damn, like that, right? Just very, like not giving any feeling. But he's like, days like this. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm thinking you're thinking about Zach in this moment. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, cause you're dazed and you're it's giving you're thinking about Zach. That's what it's really giving. So, anyways, then it goes to the next scene. I guess it's the next morning, right? And Bryce is knocking at the door at Zach, and it's probably early in the morning. And he walks in after knocking on the door, and he's like, well, I'm returning your keys from last night. He also has this piece of paper in his hand, and he's like, this was on your door. So he was like, what's this? Is it good news? And, Bryce's like, it's good news. And Zach opens it up, and it's the lease agreement that was signed from Valerie and Deja. So he's like, fuck. Now you're a little sober. He's not sober, but he's a little sober to be able to understand, like, he really messed up last night. Which, if you watched last episode, I told him I don't understand why he got the keys, giving it to Deja at last night, and why he was agreeing for her to move in and all this other stuff. But hey, that ain't none of my business. You know what I'm saying? So then Bryce is like, we still down for the office space? Let's go and get the keys, like, for that, I guess trying to change the subject and, trying to engage with Zach because, he's got feelings now for Zach or something. Just, I don't know. He's like, no, I really messed up last night and I really need to clean this up. So go ahead, go get the keys, and then I'll go ahead and try to clean this situation up and try to get ahead of the situation before, it backfires on me, right? Listen, child, okay? There's two things that I want to say before we get into whatever happens next, right? First and foremost, child, men, first and foremost, don't make any decisions out of anger or being drunk, because it's not the great decision. You have to really be mindful of what your decisions are, okay? And two, don't say anything to your lady if you're angry or just in your feelings about something, because one, you can't take it back, and two, you probably didn't mean it. So you're welcome in advance, okay? Just my thoughts, okay? So then let's proceed. Then he goes and he calls Fatima. Fatima doesn't answer him, and he leaves a message, and then he calls Valerie because he's trying to get us out of this situation with the Deja. He has a conversation with Valerie, and Valerie's like, what's going on? She was very excited, like, about, the lease. And he was like, I can't do it. And she was like, well, you can't really back out now because she's going to sue you. And he was like, sue me for what? And she then proceeds and says that she saw him, of course, last night and danced for him. And being that you saw that, you don't want it to be considered discrimination. So you have to kind of go through with this. So he's like, fuck. Like, he's fucked because he's in a really messed up situation, like, of course, with his girl, and then the girlfriend, the little stripper girl that she got a picture of is moving next door. So that I just can't, right? So then it pans to the next scene where Fatima is waking up in the morning. She's in the kitchen with Angela. They're having a conversation. And basically saying that she's going to go ahead and move her stuff out of storage. And Angela's asking, like, do you need help? And she was like, no, I don't need any help. I have movers. And she was like, y'all, I heard Bryce in the kitchen this morning making you breakfast. She was like, you really seem like you're in love. And she was like, yeah, I am. It's like, and I heard you guys last night. And she was like, you heard us? And she was like, yeah. She was saying, something happened that was very strange last night. And she was like, what's wrong? And Angela says, like, he came home and he was harder than what he normally is. So it just kind of seemed weird. And she was saying, like, she felt like he was out at the little party with Zach, and he probably came home and was thinking about the girls. But then Fatima was like, well, why are you tripping? Because he came home to you, like, and brought the fantasy to you. And she was like, yeah, you're right. But if it was Zach, would you have a problem? She was like, ooh, you are right. And then they was laughing about how, Fatima had asked, like, what was he speaking Japanese? And she was like, girl, he was calling his mama in Japanese, okay? Period. In his native language, okay? Period. Then, child, why? Just why? Just why? Why? Why did Belinda walk in the house talking shit, talking about, I told you Zach wasn't shit, and Fatima is over her dumb ass is over there, like, and then Angela's like pointing, like, Like, and she's like, what? And of course, Fatima's like, who's the dumbass? Like, what you got to say, right? And Belinda like, hey girl, you know she always hits you with the hey girl, and Fatima's like, no, make sure you keep my motherfucking name out of your mouth and my man's name out of your mouth. Like, period. Like, I'm not gonna tell you this no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we already have a problem. And then Fatima's like, I'm leaving because I'm done with this. Like, you and your bullshit, I'm done with this. Like, Angela asked, like, why did you send the picture? Like, what was the purpose of that? And she was like, because she needed to know. Like, she needed to know. But she was like, girl, you could have told me that she was over here because I wouldn't have come over here with the rah-rah. Girl, you probably would have still, because that's just you. Like, I'm really over, like, I'm still on the fence with Angela. She's kind of like playing the fence, but her friends and Zach's friends, like, are just, I'm done with them. Like, we need to write them out and be done with them, because I'm done completely. Then the next scene, child, is a knock at the door at Zach's house, and his brother walks in, and he's like walking around like, damn, this is nice. This is really nice. And he's like, what's up? And he's like, can I get a tour? The brother's like, can I get a tour? And he's like, I came over last night and I met your girl was there here. And he was asking like mom told you like where I live, like what's going on, like why are you here? And he was like, why are you cutting me out? Like, so I guess, you know, basically they kind of did dirt before and they was doing some illegal stuff, and Zach keep on telling him like, I'm not in no illegal stuff anymore. And he was like, I'm in stocks right now. I'm doing stocks. And he was like, I don't understand. Like, you did 3 years and I did 10. But when I got out, you supposed to look out for me. And he keeps on going on and on about how big and nice his house is, and he's trying to figure out what he's into and why he's cutting him out of whatever it is that he's into. And he's going back and forth with him like, I'm not like in no legal stuff. He was like, what's the price? Like, what's the price? What you want? Right? And they're going back and forth, and he's like, we supposed to be family, but clearly you live in this plush life and you don't like care about us. And then girl, Zach, for a split second, Zach goes off, right? And Zach was like, fuck you, basically, because I was broke for 3 years and nobody fucking called me, but now y'all want to come around because I got money? Like, fuck you, like, for real. And I was feeling him, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I'll come to visit mom or whatever, but fuck you. And he was like, well, and then the brother was like, when you do, bring money. So Zach's like, what is the cost? What is the cost? He was like, well, give me 10 grand. So he was like, girl, listen, I'm so mad about this. He goes and grabs the checkbook and he writes a check for him for 10 grand. Now listen, okay? I just need right now to have a moment. I don't know why Zach keep on fucking up, okay? At the end of the day, Zach, you can't give him no fucking money because he's already seen how you live, and he's going to keep coming back and pressing you for more fucking money. So I don't understand why, for the life of me, that you thought it was a great idea to give him a fucking check for 10 G's. Like, why? That's the dumbest shit ever. And I understand that's family, but still, family's family, and I get it. But at the end of the day, like, you can't give no money. Like, you can buy him something, you know what I'm saying, for out of the gesture of your heart or whatever, but don't buy him, don't give him no money, because all he gonna do is come and run back when that 10 grand is gone and ask for some more, and you gonna just be at what? An ATM. Your name is not gonna be Zach to them no more. It's gonna be ATM, because they gonna come and be putting a card in you and asking for more money. I'm just saying, my thoughts, okay? Period. And he gives him a check, right? And he goes upstairs and he's like, oh, I need to see the rest of this house. I told you, his brother ain't shit, okay? Ain't shit. Then it pans to the next scene where Fatima is in a car and she gets a phone call, and it's Margaret is Ian's mom. And she going like, oh yeah, Ian told me that you saw him yesterday, and he gave me your number, and she was asking like, did he tell you what happened or what's going on with him? And she's like, yeah. And he was like, Margaret was like, the mom was like, I know he doesn't look bad, but baby is bad. And then she proceeds and she was like, I'm so happy that you agreed to come and be here with us during all this. Now, mind you, the whole time. Now, once did Fatima say, huh? No, I didn't agree to that, nothing. She just going along with it. So she's like, yeah, I know. And then she asked like for Fatima to come to dinner. And she's like, I'm gonna call you back and I'll let you know if I'm free or available for dinner. I just feel like in that moment you already have a problem with your man and you already know if that's an issue, then why are you agreeing to this? Like why? You already know there's gonna be a problem with that. So I just feel like she should have been like, no, I don't think that that's a great idea, but I'll be here via phone calls if you need me, and that's what it should have been, right? But who am I? Who am I to tell anybody what their situation should be? You know what I'm saying? If that's good with you and that works for you, but I think she's still working on through the fact that she's still mad at Zach and that she's somewhat about to move out. So she's just like kind of on the fence, but I don't know. And then, child, why did it end with Deja? Okay, Deja moving in her spot, looking like Miss Parker with the Daisy Duke booty shorts on, child. Okay, talking about to the movers, yeah, here, oh yeah, that goes here, and then of course, who drives up? Fatima, child, gets out her car real quick, girl, and then Deja like, hi, I'm Deja, just like that, and Fatima's like, who? And she's like, I'm Tasia. I live next door. And she go like this, and she just moves her hand down like basically because you're not gonna get no handshake, mama. Okay, period. And it just fades out, girl. This next episode, okay, hope, because Fatima didn't look happy at all. So I already know. Episode number 8 is called About Last Night. It's gonna be popping, okay? It's gonna be popping. There's a lot of juicy things about to go on. We still gotta unpack the whole either Bryce is gay or I don't know. We need to unpack that next episode. Deja situation episode and all that. It's a lot to unpack and see in episode 8, okay? And it's called About Last Night. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night, which is Friday night. So make sure you stay tuned to that because that is going to be a juicy one, okay? Whew. Now let's get into these tweets real quick, child, because man, that episode was so juicy. I was quick to go to see what the tweets were, okay? I couldn't wait to see what people were saying on the Twitter, okay? So let's get right into it. The first one is from Sincerely KK. Not Bryce getting hard after Zach's naked. Valerie girl better check him. Now I think that she was talking about Bryce and then Valerie's situation with Zach, which is hopefully what I think that she was thinking she was going with. But child, listen, okay? These tweets, child, everybody was going in about this whole Bryce situation. Everybody was going in, okay? And then the next one is limited edition. So we not going to say anything about Bryce getting hard because of Zach. Child, listen. Everybody was saying something about it, okay? If you went on the Twitter, honey, and pitted hashtag sisters on BT, everybody. I think that was the most thing. Nobody else was talking about nothing else in that episode but Bryce, okay? Bryce was the hot topic, okay, of this week. Like episode 7 might as well have been called Bryce, okay? Because that's all people talking about, okay? Amber Software said, I knew something was off with Bryce's ass. Like, for real. I'm trying to tell you, everybody was on Bryce. Like, for real. Like, I don't know. I just think that maybe I don't know. I think that maybe he's bisexual. And my whole only concern is I'm hoping that he told Angela so that she can be aware of it and not blindsided. That's the only thing I'm hoping because, I mean, nowadays everybody's everything and it doesn't really matter. It just is just all that is concerned, and what matters is the person who you with. If they're okay with it, then who the hell was anybody else got anything to do with it, okay? Or anything to say. I'm just saying. The next tweet is from Queen Elizabeth. It says, I knew Jay was on some begging and talking shit, which is the brother, right? He ain't shit. He ain't about shit. He ain't gonna be about shit. Zach need to get rid of him like ASAP, or maybe get a restraining order from him. I don't know. The next one is from Hart. That crazy ass brother pissed me off. He sure the fuck did. He sure the fuck did. He pissed me off too. And I was screaming through the phone to make sure that he didn't give him the 10 G's or the 10 grand. But you know what he did, girl? He did. And he get on my nerves. The last tweet is from 10/21. I'm not feeling Zach and his brother's relationship hand out N word. I'm not gonna say. Go away. He ain't supposed to be taking care of you. I don't understand why his brother feels the need to that he needs to be taking care of it. First of all, Zach is the younger brother, and mind you, you know they were doing their dirt and all this other stuff back in the day. But at the end of the day, like, you should be a man just like he's being a man and trying to get for himself. And for those 3 years when he was broke, living on Danny's couch, nobody was looking and checking for him then. Nobody was helping him then. So I don't understand why you feel the need to come around and get a handout. Like, I don't understand it. But anyways, ain't none of my business. You know what I'm saying? I told you, this episode was real juicy. And child, please come and stay tuned for tomorrow, because I'm sure it's going to be even juicier to unpack, okay? Now make sure you guys are subscribing so that you guys don't miss any of my reviews, whether it's Sisters or Zatima, because you know it's Sisters on Wednesday, Zatima on Thursday, and Zatima on Friday. Child, we get into it here, okay? Anyways, love bugs, like, share, subscribe. I love you guys. And as always, be